Well, hello everybody. My name is Tim Hay and I'm the Cooperative Development Director for NASPA Value Point, and I would like to welcome you to the latest webinar series to introduce the new contract portfolios for automatic external defibrillators. On the phone with us today is Teresa Johnson from the state of Oklahoma, and she is going to walk us through the new RFP and the new contracts that are now available for use from NASPA Value Point. So Teresa, welcome to today's call.
Thank you, Tim. Happy to be here. Very excited to walk everyone through this AED contract. You will notice here our sourcing team that participated along with the lead state of Oklahoma. Arlene Watson from Connecticut, Grant Bailey from North Carolina, Stephanie Wildman from Idaho, of course myself as the lead. I actually took Gerald Elrod's place. He was the original lead and did a wonderful job, but he went on to bigger and better things, and then I took over. So also Tim from Montana and Tim Shea from Washington, who I understand is retiring. But we appreciate his appreciate the participation of all the sourcing team. The award information. It was awarded to 4 contractors. These contractors have been previously awarded, so we're very, very confident that we have very good manufacturers on the contract. The Oklahoma solicitation number is very similar to the previous solicitation number. The 17 there designates the fiscal year that the solicitation was issued. The award dates, there are 2 award dates here, as all the master agreements were not put into place at the same time. Legal was working with all 4 of those suppliers. So the 3 of the awards were done October 5th, and then the last was December the 17th. The award structure was 3 categories that were indicated, and then a discount off of list price. And of course, I'll get into that a little bit deeper, a little bit further on. And we actually received no protests on this award. Of course, the solicitation was issued in compliance with the Oklahoma Central Purchasing Act as the lead state. The RFP was issued November the 29th, 2016. There was a pre-proposal conference held December the 9th, 2016. There were 2 amendments. I believe they were mostly to answer questions. And then the actual proposals were due January 10th, 2017. There were 5 proposals received. The procurement process or the evaluation was done in 5 or 6 phases. And the initial phase of the evaluation process was to make sure that the vendors were responsive. One vendor, North Star, was eliminated in the initial phase. Then with the other 4, we went on to the technical proposal evaluation, and that proposal evaluation was worth 35% of the total weight of the evaluation. The third phase after the initial technical, the third phase was the proposal evaluation, the cost proposal, where we looked at the actual cost. The offerer with the lowest cost received the maximum points, and all the others received points as determined by a ratio of their cost to the lowest cost. That calculation is included in the evaluation summary on the website, on the NASPA website. The ratio calculation is, well, as I stated, it's a ratio of the other costs to the lowest cost. So that's just a repeat of that. The final scores were calculated based on the formula of the cost points times the proposed cost over the lowest proposed cost. There again, that is included on a spreadsheet, which will probably make a lot more sense. The cost proposal was worth 35% of the total weight of the evaluation. The other issue, the other factors in the evaluation were the usage fee and reporting plan evaluation. The evaluators went through what the vendors had proposed. That was worth 15%. And then the distributor network, that was worth 15% of the total weight. As I said, the agreement was awarded to 4 suppliers. Our first supplier was Zoll Medical Corporation. You will note their contract term was October 5th, 2017 through October 4th, 2018. The contract structure was a firm price with discount off of list price. The second supplier is Physio Control Incorporated. You will note their contract term is October 5th, 2017 through October 4th, 2018. All of these contracts, I would say, also have extension options. With the state of Oklahoma, the extensions are done annually. Their contract structure was firm price, discount off of list price. The third master agreement was to Cardiac Science. Their contract term is October 5th, 2017 through October 4th, 2018, with options to extension options. And their contract structure was firm price. The firm price was on the actual, on AED and on the accessories. So you also have a discount off of list price, I'm sorry. The next and final contractor was Philips Healthcare. You will note that their contract term is December 17th, a little bit different from the other two, through October 4th, 2018, with 4 option years, and they bid a firm price and a discount off of list price. As I stated earlier, the contract was awarded with fixed rate line pricing. That's on devices under the following categories. They also had fixed rate pricing on the commonly used consumables and accessories for the AED devices. And then for additional items, because they went through the entire catalog offered by the vendor, they offered a blanket discount on catalog pricing. The benefits of the agreement. They have an exceptional warranty support by the multiple contractors. We have increased savings. They actually bid pricing lower than the previous contract. The value add proposal included additional defibrillators, as we're talking about that catalog with a discount to offer even more devices. There were new products available in the form of the accessories and the professional defibrillators, which were not previously on contract. And then there were new services available in the form of the service plan and training options that weren't previously on contract. If there are any questions, again, my name is Teresa Johnson. I'm with the state of Oklahoma. My contact information is there. We'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have. At this time, Tim Hay will talk about the participating addendum process.
Well, thank you, Teresa. And just before we go into the participating addendum process, I just want to say thank you in the state of Oklahoma for putting together these great agreements. This is a very important contract for all public entities because automatic external defibrillators do save lives. And the fact that we have these available now for agencies to put them into all public places at an affordable cost, I think it's important that agencies and individuals in those agencies really take a close look at these agreements to where they can install them in their buildings. We actually have one of our webinars on our website that talks about how a automatic external defibrillator saved a student's life. He was playing basketball. He was at basketball practice and he suffered a heart attack. And if it was, it was for the fact that that AED was on site that actually saved his life. So I really encourage agencies to closely take a look at these contracts and to get those AEDs in their buildings. So thank you, Teresa, for Oklahoma's effort in putting this our contracts together. I'm going to take just I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to talk about the participating addendum process. As you're aware, we have 50 states in the District of Columbia, as well as U.S. territories that all have the ability to use any one of our contract portfolios that NASPA Valley Point has. We have roughly 60 different contracting portfolios, and they're all available for use by the members of NASPO through the Memorandum of Agreement. Through the participating addendum process, agencies can utilize these services. Now, we do have model participating addendums located under each contractor on the website. We encourage everybody to use this model PA as a starting document. Do not just attach your standard boilerplate to this model agreement. If you have specific terms and conditions to your state that are not already included in the master agreement, you most certainly may attach and include those specific terms and conditions. But Teresa and the state of Oklahoma have done a great job of putting together a master agreement that contains many of the terms and conditions that are applicable to all states. So most likely the terms and conditions in the master agreement already cover the same terms and conditions in states' standard boilerplate. So please only add those terms and conditions specific to your state. Otherwise, it just adds a lot of confusion if there's conflicting terms and conditions between the participating addendum and the master agreement. If you do choose to use your own form of a participating addendum, please ensure that all the terminology is correct and current, and there are no conflicts with terms and conditions between your participating addendum and the master agreement. A little later on in this presentation, I will show everybody the AED portfolio website on the NASPA Valley Point website and where the model participating addendums are located. Now, through the participating addendum, states can select which contractors they want to choose. They can choose to award to one or all four of the contractors or a combination thereof. If a state wants to include their own state administrative fee, they can do that in the PA. They can also, as I mentioned earlier, include those required or unique terms and conditions in their participating addendum. They can also identify the options for states and their political subdivisions. Some states may choose just to execute a participating addendum that only allows for political subdivision use. That's where they would identify that option in their PA. And they can also request any state-specific reporting or other requirements in that participating addendum. Now, there's three options for participation, and we always like option one the best, and that's where a state will sign a participating addendum that allows the entire state to use. So that means all state agencies, as well as all political subdivisions within that state, can utilize the participating addendum and access these agreements. If for some reason a state chooses that they do not want to utilize these contracts for AEDs, but they're okay with all the political subdivisions utilizing the contract, then they would do option two, where a state would sign a participating addendum for non-state entities or for political subdivision use only. And then a state may choose not to execute a PA for whatever reason they may have. And if that's the case, political subdivisions still have the option to execute a participating addendum. But before this political subdivision just executes a PA, we would like to ask you to contact us first, because we will then contact the state chief procurement official in your state asking for their approval or non-objection to you entering your own participating addendum. Entities will be given approval on an individual basis, or state CPO may give approval to all entities. So it kind of varies between each state on how the CPOs wish to handle this, but please contact us first and we will certainly assist in that process. Now, the primary steps for executing a PA are negotiations, direct negotiations between the state entity and the contractor. I'm not going to read this verbatim, but it's primarily just back and forth communications and negotiations between the entity and the contractor. States and contractors are not obligated to sign PAs and execute PAs. So this is strictly a negotiation. So if a contractor has a term or condition that the state does not agree and it cannot be negotiated, then the state could choose not to sign that PA, and vice versa on the contractor. If the state tries to introduce a term or condition that the contractor may not be able to accept, then they could choose not to sign a participating addendum. So as I emphasize, it's really a negotiation process. These participating addendums are like mini contracts against the master agreement. Hopefully, states and entities are able to execute the participating addendums without too much problem. And once you have a completed and executed PA, you would just make sure it's signed by both parties and then send a fully executed copy to both contractor and NASPA Value Point at pa@naspavaluepoint.org. Once we receive that participating addendum, we will then post it up on the website and put it in our filing system. So participation opportunities step-by-steps for 1 and 2 are exactly the same. The only difference here is the state is executing a participating addendum just for political subdivision use only. And it's just straight negotiations. And once you have that negotiated PA, then you will just send it on to NASPA Value Point at pa@naspavaluepoint.org. For opportunity number 3, it is a little bit different. This is where a state will choose to execute or a state chooses not to execute a participating addendum. If that's the case, what entities need to do is send a request into NASPA Value Point at info@naspavaluepoint.org and ask that you would like to execute your own participating addendum with the contractor that you want to execute the PA with. The reason why we ask you to do this is some states may already have their own existing contracts for automatic external defibrillators. And if that's the case, we want to make sure that we're not competing against the in-states contract. So please send that request to info@naspavaluepoint.org and just tell us who you are, i.e. to which political subdivision you work for and which contractor you would like to execute a participating addendum with. We will then reach out to the Chief Procurement Officer on your behalf and ask them if they have any objections or not. If they choose that they have no objections, then we will let you know, and you're free to and then just directly negotiate that participating addendum with the contractor and follow the same steps as outlined before. Just negotiate directly and send that completed participating addendum into pa@naspavaluepoint.org. Now, the state of Oklahoma and NASPA Value Point, we are here to ask questions, but we do not get in the middle of your negotiations, nor do we negotiate on your behalf or approve your negotiations. So only, if you get stuck, if you're not sure about something, by all means, reach out to us. We'll be happy to assist, but we're not going to the table for you to negotiate your PA. On the website, there is a flowchart that shows all of the processes for executing the PA. You have the track here for participating states, and then you have the track here for other non-participating entities. And here's that check-in process that I talk about where we will check in with the state CPO on your behalf. Now, here's an important thing to remember. If you're a political subdivision and if a state that you reside in has already executed a participating addendum, there is no reason for you to execute your own individual participating addendum. You have all the ability to purchase under the state's executed participating addendum. In fact, we actually ask that you do not execute a participating addendum. If you need to have some sort of a contractual document that shows the transactions, by all means, you can use a purchase order or some other document, but please do not execute a separate participating addendum if the state has already executed a participating addendum in which state you reside in. Now, also, if you do execute your own separate contractual document, you do not need to send that into NASPA Value Point. That is strictly between you and the contractor. The only time a political subdivision would execute their own participating addendum is if a state has not executed a participating addendum. for the contractor that they wish to use. So please pay very close attention to this. And if you have any questions about this, please contact us. We'll be more than happy to help you out. So it's just some things to remember. The sample participating addendums are located on the NASPA Value Point website under each master agreement portfolio. We will maintain a copy of all executed participating addendums on NASPAValuePoint.org and in a repository. Participating addendums and states are identified on the map of the United States on each master agreement page. As I mentioned before, the lead state and NASPA Value Point do not get involved with your negotiations. We're here to answer any questions. So if you have a contract interpretation issue, Teresa would be the person to contact. If it's a NASPA Value Point PA process question, by all means reach out to NASPA Value Point and we'll help you out. We ask that you only submit completed and negotiated participating addendums with signatures from both parties to us. Sometimes we get copied in on communications between the contractors and entities executing PAs, and a draft PA may be attached, but it's not completed. We don't want to make the mistake of posting a participating addendum that has not been executed yet. So please only send us completed and executed participating addendums, and you can certainly submit those completed PAs in a PDF format. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to show you where everything is located on the NASPA Value Point website. So here is the portfolio page for automatic external defibrillators. If you go to the main NASPA Value Point website and just search AEDs, this page will come up. Here you will find a copy of the original RFP that was released, also the executive summary recommending award, the PA process flowchart, and the evaluation summary documents. So all of that information is located here. Also, a copy of this webinar and slide deck will be located on this page as well. Up here on top is just some basic information, the current contracting inception date. So we use the first inception date of October 4th, 2017, and we show where the current expiration date is. And then we have the total terms expiration date. So this is the total life expectancy of the contract. The original contract only goes to 2018, but those renewal options will take it to 2022. So that's what this means right here. We have Teresa's contact information located over here, as well as the number of contractors and the number of participating addendums executed here so far. If you click on the contractors tab right here, you'll find the 4 contractors that we have available under this portfolio. If you just click on one of them, and I'll use Physio Control, up pops the same information that you saw on the first page up here on top, but below is all the contractor specific information. So it shows the current inception and expiration date of the contracts. It also shows the master agreement, the pricing, all of the authorized dealers, any contract amendments, and also a copy of the proposal that Physio Control submitted. These are redacted proposals that we received from all of the contractors for people to review on the website. Over here are all of the participating addendums that have been executed. So you can click on these documents here, and it'll pull them up in a PDF format. Also, the contact information for the contractor is located right here. And I was talking about where you can find that sample or model participating addendum. It is right here. If you click on model participating addendum, up will open a Word document right here. And it's actually opening up here on my other screen, and but it looks like this. Here is that model participating addendum, and it's a place for you to put in any information, obviously the contractor information, the contact information at your state agency. Also, you can check here if there's no changes made to the terms and conditions of the master agreement, or if you need to make some changes, you would check this box and then put that information here. And then down here is those signature pages. So with that, feel free to contact me if you have any questions regarding the participating addendum process or just about NASPA Value Point in general. My contact information is located right here. And you can always reach out to me via email or by phone. And also Teresa Johnson is available as well for questions about the master agreements and any contract interpretation issues. And with that, I'd just like to thank everybody for taking their time today for watching this webinar. We hope you find these agreements valuable to your state agencies. If by all means you have some suggestions on how to improve these agreements, we're always welcome to some suggestions. So feel free to reach out to either Teresa or myself, and we'll be happy to listen to your thoughts and suggestions. And once again, I just want to thank everybody for your time and wish you a great day.